Hey, welcome to this week's Monday Motivation. My name is Tony Ruiz. I am the founder and host of the Productive Agent podcast and Facebook group. The purpose of our Monday Motivation is to give you a quick message to make you think and be inspired to start your week. Today's Monday Motivation is entitled Sky Appreciation. So the story kind of goes back to when I was in college and I was marching with this group as a drum corps called Santa Clara Vanguard out of Santa Clara, California. For those of you that don't know what drum corps is, I describe it as the professional league of marching band. Sounds really dorky, but it's a really cool activity that is done across the country and across the world, that you practice your marching band show and then you tour the country from city to city, performing in front of thousands of people. There's always the big San Antonio show here at the Alamodome, and performed all over in different cities across the country. So it was a lot of fun, an experience that I'll never forget. I learned a lot from it. But in my time at the Santa Clara Vanguard, there were some really influential people that taught me. And one of those people was named Myron Rosander. Myron Rosander is what I would consider like a godfather of the Santa Clara Vanguard. He was a member. He wrote the drill. He served on staff, and he was there for many, many, many years. He would tell stories of, the old school ways, and kind of motivate and inspire us to carry on the tradition of the Santa Clara Vanguard. But when Myron spoke, you listened, and nobody talked, and you gave your attention to him because it was usually something very powerful. And I don't remember exactly what show it was or where we were at, but it was after a show, and Myron wanted to talk to the Corps. And he was talking about the season, the ups and downs, the struggles, all those things. And sometimes he'd be upset. So he would curse a lot. He would yell. He'd get intense. But he would bring it back together. And I'll never forget this phrase that he said. He said, look around you right now at all the people that are surrounding you. Look at the stadium that we just performed in. Look at the buses and the parking lot and everything that's around us, and take it in, because there will never be another night like tonight. And I was like, okay, well, that sounds very philosophical. But when you think about it, even though we're probably going to perform at that same show at that same city the next year, it's not going to be the same members anymore. It's not going to be the same staff anymore. This moment that we're living in pretty much cannot be duplicated. It'll never be like it is exactly in this moment, right? With the feelings, with the performance, with the whatever. And that story has stuck with me here for 20 years. That was back in 2003, and here we are 2023. And it's just made a big impact. And of course, there's plenty of times where I forget about that. I don't think about it. But for whatever reason, that was kind of speaking to me this morning. So that's why I decided to talk to you guys about it. I kind of carried on. So fast forward, I graduated and I started teaching marching band myself. And we would be up on the tower at band rehearsal, or up at the top of the stadium giving instruction and doing all that. And when we're up there, we had some of the best views around because we're at such a high vantage point. And we would just see like the sky, the sunset coming down, so many beautiful things around us, the different colors of the sunset. And I kind of created this thing. Whenever I noticed it, I would ask the students and everybody to pause for a moment and do a sky appreciation. Just to kind of look up, take a moment and go, wow, that's beautiful. Wow, that's pretty. That's cool, whatever it is. So it kind of became a thing, and then the students caught on and they really enjoyed it. And sometimes they would point it out to me before, sometimes it was behind me, and they're like listening to instruction and watching, but they're like distracted by the beautiful sky behind them. But we would take that moment, and sometimes it was at the end of rehearsal, right? As the sun was setting, we're wrapping things up. We would take a moment, just appreciate the sky and the beauty around us. So that's kind of the message that I want to share with you today, and kind of remind us that, so many times we get wrapped up in the hustle and bustle of everyday grind. We need to take a moment and just appreciate the sky, appreciate the things around us, appreciate the beauty around us and the people that we get to do life with, right? Appreciate the moment, because there never will be another night exactly like tonight. And recap, take a moment to appreciate the sky. I noticed when I was looking out my window this morning that a tree that I thought was dead for sure seems like overnight started blooming. And it's like, okay, cool, that tree is still alive. And it's beautiful. And, it's something to appreciate. Take a moment to appreciate your family and friends. I was scrolling on Facebook and my Uncle Victor started a page kind of in memory of family members that have passed. And I realized in his posting today that it was 9 years ago to the day that my last grandmother passed away. And I thought about that for a minute, and I don't remember the last moment that we shared together because it was just very sudden. We got a phone call that she had fallen and she was having complications and she was in the hospital. Next thing you know, she was having a stroke and she ended up passing away. So you never know when those last moments are going to be. I hate to be a downer in this moment, but just take in those moments because you never know when that's going to be your last moment that you get to share with that person or whatever it is. So take that in, take in the beauty, take in the enjoyment of today. Even when everything around you seems dark and frustrating, there is something to give you hope and faith and something that's beautiful. So take a moment, enjoy the present, and enjoy the gift that it is. That's today's Monday Motivation. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like the show, please give it a share, give it a like, share it with a friend or family member, give us a review, leave us a rating. That would really help us grow. And you can join our private Facebook group at The Productive Agent. You could also follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. All of the links are in the show notes. So I thank you for joining us today. Now let's get out there and go produce.